Welcome, everyone, to the Holstein House podcast. I'm the West Virginia woman, Robin, of RobinHolstein.com and Holstein House, where my guests get a great night's sleep at a fair rate plus breakfast. This is a podcast that looks at society and culture issues affecting families in West Virginia and the United States, from food preparation and storage, gardening, home repairs, current events, and more. We'll go around the table and back in 60 minutes or less. So let's hang out and talk a while. Good morning, good morning. How is everyone this morning? It is Tuesday, August the 8th, 2013. And pardon me, this is episode 87 of the Holstein House broadcast, coming at you from the bunker at Holstein House this morning. Hey, so real quick, today we're going to talk a little bit about everything, I shouldn't say same, but the normal stuff. We're going to have some catching up on things that have been going on here at Holstein House. But today we're also going to talk about creating promotional codes or promo codes and specials for your bed and breakfast. One of the things I like to do is share my knowledge of things that you can do, especially with your small homesteads, as you work to bring in additional income. And I enjoy it. And I enjoy sharing it. And if you have any questions, post them, please. Please use capital letters. We're also streaming over on Rumble. I do have it open on the other screen. I can't open it. This machine has so many limitations on it. I can't have everything open that I'd like to have. But if you're over on Rumble, I'd love for you to say hello and in the comments. If you have a question, put the word question in all caps, and I'll try to catch that. I think that'll be the easiest way for me to know the questions from just general conversation that you may be having over there. So welcome again. And I hope you're having a great day. I know the weather has been rough again. We had some heavy weather that went through here yesterday. Well, it kind of skipped Holstein House. We did get some rain, got a little bit of thunder and some wind, but we didn't get the storms. There was some heavy storms in the area that come through and toppled some trees and stuff. We were under tornado watches for a little while, but I don't believe there were any that touched down or any that were seen in West Virginia as a whole. Now, I may have missed that. I know in my area we didn't. We had, like I said, we had some wind, some clouds, a little bit of rain. I mean, it wasn't really a whole lot, and it just had the feeling that there was some ugly weather out there, but it didn't really affect us, especially here at Holstein House. So that went well. But I know that there's quite a few people who were impacted and have had some damages. And so we definitely are praying that they will be able to recover and they will get some relief and some help to get back on track. So yeah, today, like I said, this is the 87th episode of Holstein House broadcast for Tuesday, August the 8th. And if you'd like to join in daily conversations, you can go over to t.me/Holstein House. In Holstein House, we do have our Telegram group over there, and we do a lot of conversation over there, day-to-day conversation, just a little hit and miss here and a little hit and miss there. And we had quite a bit of discussion the other evening on a lot of topics, and it was pretty fun over there. So yeah, if you ever wonder what other social media sites that we may be on, you can go to RobinHolstein.com and select the contact page on the menu, and you'll see all of the different social media sites that we have an account with. So we'll talk just a little bit. There's nothing exciting going on. Well, I mean, we broadcast on Tuesdays and Fridays, so there hasn't been any major significant change in things with the doghouse getting the roof on. I have reached out to the contractor again. I know you guys get tired of hearing that. I got a little allergy eye going on here this morning. I have reached out to the contractor again, I do this about every couple weeks, and I'm getting a little aggravated that these contractors don't even bother to tell me, still on track, should get to you soon, been, delayed because of weather. I mean, it's radio silence with them. And this is one I've got a written contract with that they're supposed to do the work. So I know you guys get tired of hearing me say it. I share it partially out of frustration, partially to help you understand that there's somebody else out here going through this, and perhaps partially for anyone who may have a small contracting business to understand the frustrations of your customers when you don't get back with us. You don't keep us informed. And I really, that's stupid. How long do those gnats live? That thing's been in here for a couple of weeks. But it's a frustration that I hope you guys will understand, and women, not just men, not guys as a man or a woman, but just understand your customers, your clients have things to do too, and I try to be very patient with my contractors, but I lose patience when you don't respond back to me. And this person hasn't responded back to me in several days, and that's just not right. Just not right. I don't hound my contractors. I don't pester them multiple messages every day. So the courtesy of a response is greatly appreciated. But I don't know. I don't know if I can break this contract or not. I can read it, see if I can find somebody else. But it's hard to find people who will do anything at all. So once you get a contract with somebody, you kind of want to stick with it. And every delay, every time he's not here, the price of materials is fluctuating. So the estimated costs fluctuate. It's crazy. It drives me crazy. We don't have any guests this week. I have the calendar closed. I closed the calendar because of appointments this week. Morning, Hunter. Good to see you. Hope you can hang around a little while this morning. Be sure and share some of your wisdom there with contractors and work and people and employees and stuff. Have the calendar closed this week. Took Dad to an appointment yesterday with his pulmonologist, and ended up using the wheelchair the whole time. So that's the first, and I think it upset Dad quite a bit to need it, to use it like that. But he needed to get to the doctor. The pulmonologist told him that even though he doesn't think the inhaler is helping him any, because he had it was scheduled. This was a scheduled appointment, but he was prescribed an inhaler when he was at the hospital the last time, and even though Dad doesn't think the inhaler is helping him, based on the breathing test he had, I don't know if she's a nurse or respiratory therapist that does the test for the pulmonologist. She does a test before, then uses inhaler, and then he does another test. There was a 17% increase in Dad's ability to breathe, or his lung functions, after the use of the inhaler. So while Dad says he didn't feel like it was helping him any, it actually was. And we hopefully got that through to him, that he needs to use that inhaler regularly, even if he doesn't think he needs it. But Dad originally wanted to cancel the appointment because he said his back hurt him too bad to walk. And I said, you can't just cancel these particular appointments, and we got to go, even if you have to use the wheelchair. So he accepted that he was going to use the wheelchair, and he had his cane. I said, well, you use your cane for? I didn't think you were using the cane. He says, well, to help me get up out of the wheelchair. I said, okay. Then he also had his walker, because he needed his walker to walk. So he wanted his cane to get up out of the chair, and the walker to walk the short distances that he probably could have walked. But anyway, so Hunter says, I don't have much on contractors. I find it's an ego thing. They don't like being unable to do it, so they avoid contact. Very bad business. Yeah. Just tell me you're behind. I mean, I understand the weather. I understand that especially a roofing contractor. If it rains, you can't be roofing. I get it. But yeah, it's so frustrating. But so Dad, so I get him in. I'm having to pull the car up to the front of his house now, and this is pain that he's having. So he, I pull up closer to the front of the house so that he can, doesn't have to walk so far to get in the car. And he's taking this walker down. Well, I grabbed the walker and took the walker down the stairs because he's holding on to the handrail, and he's got his cane, and the wheelchair's in the back because it's been in there for several days where I worked on it here. And I actually did a couple little videos, little like 10-second videos that's just like selfie type, because I can't find my one stand that I was using forever ago. But so saying, I need to create a channel just for, or a playlist just for dealing with Dad and the chapter that I'm in now, because I'm sitting here with this wheelchair in my lap. But anyway, so the wheelchair was in the back of the car, and then I put the walker on top of the wheelchair, and then Dad's got the cane. It was like the Beverly Hillbillies or something. It's all this stuff. But so we go to park, and this building is not. I mean, it's not wheelchair friendly. It's actually not walker or cane friendly either, because the doors are heavy and they're not automated. And so there are 3 handicap spots right in front of the door, like 5 feet off the door, and they're all full. So I pull up just past those folks so that they can get out, but still right up against it so that I can get Dad out and into the building, because the parking lot's on a slope. There was no way. Anyway, so I'm getting Dad out. I get him inside the door and I park him, and then I go to park my car, and then these people pull out. So I see them pull out, and so then I just wait and pull back in because But it was hysterical. So I get him. He uses his cane to push the doors open while we're getting through, and then or till I could reach him, and then we get in the office, and then it was just a few feet from where he was sitting to where the test for the respiration, his lung functions test was. And he says, "Oh, I could have walked this." And it's like, "Well, you're already here." And the girl said, "Yeah, you'd probably be more comfortable in that wheelchair than you would be on this hard bench here." And then he got finished with that, and I wheeled him around the back. And then we got finished there, and I wheeled him out and got him in the car and everything. Well, he got himself in the car. I shouldn't say I got him in the car, but he got himself in the car. And I told him, I said, "Dad, if this is our new normal, using this chair to go to doctor's appointments, I'm going to have to get a bigger car." And I started in my mind, I'm thinking I'm turning into a minivan woman, and I'm not a fan of minivans. Now, I did have a Subaru for a long time, and I really liked that Subaru. The all-wheel drive was really great for me, and it was a Subaru Legacy, and it was like a wagon, station wagon, and I liked that little car. I ended up selling it to my sister, and then she drove it till it fell apart. But I did like it because I could go. That little booger would go. But so I asked him what he wanted to do for lunch because it was almost noon. And he said, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can get into Bob Evans." I said, "Well, we can drive by there and see how close we can park to the door, because, they got handicap parking right in the front of the door." And before we got too far, he said, "No, let's just drive through Tudor's. I'll get something there and then go straight home." He says, "I'm not taking the chair into Bob Evans." And I get it. He's a proud man. He's done for himself all of his life, and this is a depressing thing, but it's pain related. It's his back hurts, his hip hurts. We're waiting to find out what's going on there, and he got back in the house just fine and everything, and it has to be upsetting. He just turned 83 on Friday, And now he's using a wheelchair to go to doctor's appointments. And we have another one on Thursday. He and I both have stress tests on Thursday morning. So that was another reason I had the room closed. And tomorrow I have Bibles and brunch and then the lunch and learn at the church. So I'm kind of thinking that for a little while, I'm not going to take guests in on Tuesdays so that they're not leaving, because I need to be over at the church earlier than what most of the guests are leaving. So if my guests leave by 9, I don't have time to get everything done to get things set up over at the church. So probably going to start closing off Tuesdays for a while, and see how that goes. And I don't really have a lot of people booking on Tuesdays anyway, so I'm not upset by that. And so I got the rooms closed there. We do have a guest coming, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. He's coming in to hike the. He's traveling to Georgia. He's coming down. He's going to stay on his way to Georgia. So we do have people coming in. I have the new piece for the chicken run coming in. It's supposed to be delivered Friday, and hopefully get some chickens in there. Kind of jumping around here for a minute. The mama duck that raised the ducklings, she, I think, has had a nest again down over the hill. She didn't come in night before last. She stayed out, and I couldn't find her when it was time for everybody to go in, and she wasn't with the other ducks, and they always stayed together. And I thought, well, she's got a nest somewhere, and I looked around, and I didn't see it obviously, but there are some weeds up against the fence in the back that are pretty tall, that it's fairly steep for me to walk around down there, and they don't get weed eated as well. I think she probably was down there. And then she came back in yesterday morning. I saw her out. She'd come up after the sun got up good, and she was out having breakfast. But then yesterday afternoon, she had a limp. Now, sometimes she'll limp when he mates her because he's very rough with them. And that could have been it, or I'm wondering if something got her nest, because she went back in last night. She went back into the coop last night. But these ducks are peculiar. She's never, ever had nests like she's tried to have this year. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on, but suddenly she's decided her biological clock is ticking and she needs to be nesting. So she went out this morning. She's not limping this morning, which is another reason I think maybe he was rough with her yesterday. It happens a lot with her that when he mates her, she'll limp, and then the next day she's okay. So he's just a mean old duck. Drake is a mean old Drake. So I think the ducklings are coming up on 20 weeks. They're like 16 weeks now, and 20 weeks is about when they start laying. So the two that I believe are girls should start laying soon, if not before then, because that's kind of a generic range on their age. On average, they start laying when they're about 20 weeks old. They could be a little early. They could be a little later. So we should know soon. One of my pekin has started laying again. She's been hit and miss for a long time. She's laid 3 times this week, which for her is good because she hadn't been laying at all. So we've got a few more duck eggs. I don't have enough to make a dozen soon enough for people to buy them. So maybe with the additions of the youngins, I'd like to be able to sell them more. I really would, but I like them, but I can't eat that many. So we've got that going on. And I'm going to be, if you guys are familiar with SRF, Self-Reliance Festival, I am going to be working up, because I won't be able to attend. I don't have anybody to keep the birds. There's nobody in the area that wants to take it on. I've kind of put feelers out, and I don't have anyone to take care of them. So I won't be able to go. But I'm going to put in a special promotional for a period of time around Self-Reliance Festival. Now, that's actually down in Camden, Tennessee. But if you're traveling through West Virginia to go to Tennessee, to go to SRF, I'd like to offer you a special discount. And I have had some interest in that. I floated that over in Tim Cook's Telegram group, and did have someone mention, hey, I may take you up on that. What I'll probably do is probably make a range of about 10 days that this promotional code is good for. I don't have it all decided, so that folks going down and coming back will have the opportunity to come stay for a reduced rate. I'm also thinking about, I don't know if there would be any interest in it, but I'm thinking about allowing some tent camping in the yard. I do have a way to set up out there for a toilet facility and hand washing station and stuff, because I was going to do the hip camp, and that kind of fell through. But I think I'm going to do that. And if you are interested in it, I would love to hear from you, whether it's in a comment here on the video, or if you go to robinholstein.com and send a comment over there. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think you would travel? I have a map. I don't think I have the window open. I don't, to show that map that I made, showing the 100, 200, and 300 mile radius of West Virginia. Camden, Tennessee is just over 300 miles from my house, depending on the direction that you take, whether you go through Kentucky or whether you go down into North Carolina, Virginia, North Carolina, and over. I don't see that map handy to share it. Oh, there it is. There it is. Let me see if I can share this screen. And present, share screen. This one, share this one. And that way, I don't know if we can zoom in enough for you to see. Maybe. That should be good enough for you. So I'm right around in here, right around the little end of the R there in West Virginia. If my math is correct, Camden is over here. I'd have to go back and look. I'm not really sure. I'm thinking it's like an hour out of Nashville, but I don't remember if it's north or south. So I'm thinking it's right around in here. At any rate, this is the 100 mile from Holstein House. This is 200 miles from Holstein House. This is 300 miles from Holstein House. And if you're traveling in from, I'm just going to say New York, because that's the edge of New York you see over here. If you're traveling in from New York, you can see where that puts you in relation to heading towards Tennessee. And of course, you can, any direction, it doesn't matter. But that's what I'm thinking. I think I'm going to do that. And I think if there's some interest in it, then I'd be happy to create that and to make it happen. Let me turn that banner off. I keep forgetting the banners are on there. So be sure and let me know if you'd like to do that. If you'd like to, where the promotion itself would be here. I would put it up here a few times. I do have a Substack page and a letter that goes out with Substack, and then of course in the Telegram group. I don't have a standing email list that I send out to. I used to do that a lot. I haven't done that in a long time because I just get so busy with other things that I just forget. I just don't have. There's no way I can do all of it. It's just really a challenge. So, all right, let's see. Where are we at? So that's what I was thinking about doing is creating that promotional code. It actually would be more than one, because one would be for the house and the others would be tent spots. And for those who would be using that promotional code and and coming down and staying on their way to or from, I would provide you some breakfast. I'd do something to get you some breakfast so that even if you're tent camping, you get something a little more than just having a spot on the ground to sleep. All right. Well, I don't have a whole lot going on other than before I get into the topic for today, but I do just want to share that we're doing the lunch and learn tomorrow is on sprouts, growing sprouts at home, and I'm going to be I'll be doing the workshop. And hang on a second. Sorry about that. I had to cough. I'll be doing the workshop myself, and we'll be sharing some tips of how to set up your own sprouting jars and stuff. It's really not hard, and options that you can use, and some things that you may have around the house that you can use to do that successfully, and some nutritional value and things like that. And the folks who participate, who attend, will be able to take home a jar with a lid and some seeds and stuff. So it'll be fun. We'll be doing that at noon for tomorrow's lunch and learn at the church. And so that brings me back to the main topic of what I was going to talk to you guys about today, and that's on creating, if you host from your home or you're considering hosting from your home, how you might create promotional codes. Now, promotional codes can serve a couple different purposes. You can create them to create a discount for the stay, so it discounts the dollar amount, or you can create them to add something to the stay. And right now I want to talk a little bit about some themes for promotional codes. Now, I've shared with you before that I use Free to Book. It is a UK-based registration program, and in Free to Book, you can create promotional codes and discounts so that when your guests or the potential guests, when they check out, they enter the promotional code and it gives them a preset discount. You can set it up so that it discounts one night or it discounts the entire stay. So if you have 10% off the whole stay, or 10% off one night when you book 2 or more. I mean, there are a lot of different ways that you can set them up, and it's very easy in Free to Book. Then you have promotionals that are more along the lines of one of my favorites, which I talk about all the time, which is the coffee and chocolate. That is an opt-in that lets them choose to have this extra thing. And for my examples, the coffee and chocolate is the Halls chocolates, which are a West Virginia company, West Virginia made Swiss style chocolates that to help promote the region, and then coffee that's roasted in St. Albans, which is a few miles southwest of me, at Coal River Coffee Company. They roast it and they have a little shop there and they sell it. So I buy that and I keep it on hand, and people who choose that can have the local coffee and the local chocolates. And that's an opt-in. That's one that they select in addition to the room. Now, the promotional codes and some things around promotional codes that you may want to consider are early bird special. I might use this, let's say, now I haven't done it yet, but let's say I do this for the Self-Reliance Festival. For people who are going down in advance of the full start date, because they do have a few things that are going on ahead of time, early bird special might be 20% off the regular room rate for those attending SRF in the days before the official kickoff. And then I may offer a 10% discount to people who would be coming and staying about the time to arrive there for the official first day. A weekend getaway. Now, this would be a discount, like you're trying to encourage people to come and stay for the full weekend. Maybe it's in the low season and you're trying to draw people in during the low season. It's a low season for me is the first parts of the year from January through about March. I might want to encourage someone to come in for a weekend getaway. Now, this would not be, I mean, you could do it, but I wouldn't use it on Valentine's weekend because I would have a special for Valentine's weekend. But, during the low period, you may have a special that says the third week of January, 10% off your weekend stay, for on Friday and Saturday nights departing on Sunday, or Saturday, Sunday night departing on Monday, something like that. A long stay, a theme for a long stay. So you want them to come and stay 3 or more nights. Maybe you want to make it a week. Then there's some traditional discounts that you may want to have as standing discounts. AAA membership, if they can produce their AAA membership card, they get a particular discount. I don't remember what AAA does. I never was a member, but I know I remember seeing advertisements and things. I get it in the mail all the time, wanting me to join AAA. Military discount. A lot of people give, a standing discount for the military for them they have to show their official credentials of some sort. And whether it's a retired card or their active duty card or, something like that, military spouse card, that would get them a discount. Teachers discounts, another popular one. Now, I don't know that would be, excuse me while I adjust my chair here. I don't know that would be, well, if you live in an area that perhaps has a convention for the teachers or something, then you want to bring them in, that might be one that you would use. First responder discount, senior citizen discount. Yeah. And what I'm trying to talk about, group discount is an option, but on a small homestead or like me, I wouldn't probably do a group discount. But it is an option. If you have a facility, one of the ladies that I'm familiar with on social media and stuff has an off-site separate building that they use for Airbnb. You might use that and have a group discount. Then you're kind of you're getting into maybe the party season there, but just depends on what kind of services you're offering. It's whether that would be applicable or not. And social media discounts. You could have, well, like a lot of groups on social media, YouTube, bigger channels have communities. You might do one for community for your social media, and offer a discount to people who are in your communities on social media. So I actually have a discount for Facebook, and I have a discount for Noster, and I have a discount for did I set one up for the Telegram? I don't know if I set one up for Telegram or not, but that would be another type of discount you could offer. You could set and have a standing. Now, if you use something like free to book, you have those in place and you set them up to either be active during certain periods of time, like for the month of January, or you can set them to be active indefinitely so that you don't have to worry about it. And like if you do print advertisements or you have any kind of advertisement where that could pick up, and the military discount one would be a perfect example. If you're doing any kind of print advertisement, if you're advertising on your business cards, you could possibly list, on the back of them, 10% military discount with proof of with military ID or something like that. And your advertisement is out and it's evergreen. And so you have that set forever. And so that when somebody picks it up and says, oh, I'm active duty military and I'm going to be coming through there, I'll stay here. And they key that in. And you don't have to keep repopulating that discount. Now, when you go to create your promotional codes, You want to make them easy to remember and try to make them fairly short. Now, this isn't like your passwords and stuff where you're going to be afraid somebody's going to crack the code. These are things you want to keep them, you want them to stay fresh in the mind. You want them to be almost like a jingle, a commercial jingle, where people, it's easy for them to remember. So I try to keep mine within 5 or 6 characters, whether that's letters and numbers or whatever. I try to keep it fairly low. So for a military discount, I might say MIL 10 for military 10% being the discount. SRF, like I said, I don't have that set up, but I might say do something like SRF 21. It's going to be something that's memorable. If it is for a certain season, I might include 2-digit years. So like Valentine's, I might put heart 23, so that it's Valentine's Day, the heart, and 23 for the year, so that I can look back and see which of the discounts did better. Did I do better in 23 than I did in 22 or 21 or 24 or whatever? It could be something like that. And, make them easy to scan so that if you're using a device to capture it, it doesn't run off the screen. You don't want a whole sentence. Like I said, these aren't passwords. These are promotional codes. You want to encourage people to use them when they stay with you. Do you want to, give consideration? Do you want to limit them? Do you want them only for a season, or do you want them unlimited, like, the military, a senior citizen discount or something, so that it's evergreen and always able to be used? Or do you just want them summer 23, so it's a special you're running through this summer of 23, 5% off across the board for anything? And of course, like if you're doing a package, promotional package, like I do the coffee and chocolates, you want to decide, okay, now am I only going to do this for February, and it's a Valentine's thing, so you only want that to be good from February 1st to the 28th. Is it for St. Patrick's weekend? Are you trying to get people in, so you just want that discount on that weekend? You don't want everything discounted. You do need to have some regular prices, and you don't want someone who may have heard that you had a promotional code that was good in St. Patrick's Day trying to use that in October. So you want to consider whether to use them for a limited time or whether they're to be good permanently. You need to promote them throughout all your channels. I'm really poor about doing that. I'm my own worst marketer, and it's nothing to be proud of, but it's just a fact. I am so scattered. I have so many other things going on. Some of you have heard my challenges with getting a housekeeper to free up a couple hours of my week, and that's still in the toilet. It as nice as she is, her life has some things going on as well, and so we're just not able. As of right now, she's not well. I need to call her today and check on her, but so that I'm going to have to call a service, I guess, and actually pay for that. Well, I wasn't paying badly, but I had to pay taxes on it. I was just paying cash because I knew I wasn't going to hit $600 a year anyway. So, but anyway, so promote that through all your marketing channels. If I was to get my Substack back up to par, I could be promoting it through that and getting it out to other people. Plus, the Telegram groups and my videos and things like that, and the website, and just get that back on track and promote them that way. And then you can track them. So here's one that we don't always think of. When you have separate promotional codes for separate social media sites or separate advertisements, how you see, the guy with the pillows who gets in a lot of trouble because of his political views. But you'll see his advertisements and he'll say, enter this code, and it'll be different for different television channels or different for you may see it online. It'll have a different code, but it's the exact same commercial, but they put a different code in it. They track those codes to see which one did better in what market. And so the way you do your promotional codes can be very much the same. You would say just Facebook. You might choose FB 2308. Okay, so that would be Facebook for the in 2023 for the year and 08 for August. So let's say you do a special the full month of August, you only promote it on Facebook. Regardless of what the special is, regardless of what the percentage is, regardless of all of that, you use that and say anybody who enters this code in will get let's stick with 10%. 10% off a 2-night stay at my BNB, then you can track people using that. If you have a big enough establishment, you can see how that tracks. Or you could do it with other things, not just what we're here for today is the small BNB. And so it would be easy to track really, but you'll see where just like tracking your information on your website, you'll see where your hits are coming from. You'll see where people are booking from. You'll see that more people book 2 nights using the FB 2308 in the month of August than may have booked with the IG 2308, which would be Instagram 2308. So if you can see that, you can compare those and see how much better you do with one platform versus the other. So it helps you track them and track their effectiveness. And you would use those also to target specific audiences. A first-time customer could have if you have a list of your guests that you market to, the first time they come to stay, you can offer, say, if you're a first time guest at my B&B, you can't give champagne, but you can put, sparkling cider or something like that. And, well, I guess if you have a liquor license, you could, but most of us don't. So, sparkling cider and cookies or crackers or pie or whatever, to entice them in, then you offer a different one for them to repeat. Or you may, try to goose some of your past guests. I say, if you'll come back and stay with us again, you'll get an extra gift, some sort of gift to the guests. Maybe they get a special meal. Instead of just the basic light continental breakfast, I'll offer you eggs, a cheese omelet or something with our fresh eggs and, cheese that I've made, our fresh eggs and our cheese that we've made here and all those kind of things. You could do that. You could do that. You could use it if you've not been offering your guests anything special. Like I don't generally offer Airbnb guests anything other than the basic continental breakfast, like continental, the bread and the bagels and the muffins and the bread and, dry cereal, hot water for tea or, so they could fix tea or oatmeal and, coffee and stuff like that. I mean, it's just, that's what I offer. So maybe even Airbnb guests would have the option, if you book through Airbnb, of course, how I feel about them taking their percentages. I think it's a little too high of a percentage, but you get a special breakfast if you want, obviously. I do a blueberry and rice breakfast plate sometimes for guests if they pick it. And it's like a rice pudding with blueberry. It's really good. And then, homemade bread for bread toast and juice and coffee and that kind of thing. And it's plated up very nicely. It looks very good. They're not serving themselves. I set that out for them. So you would offer that to someone perhaps that hasn't been here for a while. And then you have some loyalties that you can offer loyal customers who come back frequently. And you're a great customer, and if you enter this code with your next stay, we'll give you, I don't know, we'll give you a fuzzy robe or something. That's a little extravagant, I think, for most of us, but it's just an example of what you might offer your guests using promotional codes that you've created. All right, let's see. I got a little congestion. Let's see. Oh, let me remove that. I don't need that on there. So those are just a few ideas for promotional codes and how to use them a little more effectively if you are having a small B&B and if you're using an Airbnb. I don't use anything but Airbnb as far as an online travel company. I just don't need to juggle all of that. I really don't. But there are ways Airbnb will let you set up discounts, and they'll let you set up things that you can sell through them. But of course, they get a bite of it. So, excuse me, I tried not to do a lot of it through Airbnb. You have to also be careful of what you share in messages. You can't, if you're promoting stuff in the private messages back and forth, and then there's a complaint, because like, let's say I promoted, I don't know, the coffee and chocolate, and then they say, oh, I got the chocolate and it didn't taste very good, and she wouldn't give me my money back. Well, Airbnb doesn't even know that I sold it to them, so you can get in trouble that way. Well, not in trouble, but you just don't need the hassle. But if it's a direct book, I can offer so much more, and it's all mine. It's all my profit. I can offer a travel guide, and I actually do have one. Needs updated, but I do have one on the website that can be downloaded at robinholstein.com. There is a travel guide that can be downloaded that talks about some of the historical things in the area. I can offer a cookbook. I can offer training. I can offer classes. I can offer anything I want. And it will be my profit. I'm not sharing that. Now, it is easy to start out with Airbnb. I don't have a grudge against them other than the percentage that they take. I think it's too much, but it's a great way to get started. It's a great way to build your confidence. It can also destroy your confidence. I'm still struggling with my percentages. I had the one young lady that hit me with 2s across the board on the guest review because she was upset that I told her, look, you can't just show up at 9:00 at night. The check-in window's from 3 to 6. You told me you read that. So she left me with 2s on that, and that was just, it'll slam your percentages hard. So I don't have to worry about that with direct book, and I like to encourage people to direct book. And I like free to book. I think it's easy to use. So, and I'm not sponsored by them or anything. So I like to share that. And I know there are other programs out there that you can use, and that's fine. And whatever makes you comfortable, they all work about the same way. But, you do have, when you're doing your own, when you are your own B&B, when you are on your own homestead, which I'm a small one. My dad and I had this conversation, was it last week? I can't remember now. I did take him to the doctor last week, and we did manage to go in. I think we had the conversation last week about the definition of homestead. And Dad, his generation, homestead was lots of acreage, lots of animals, lots of all of it on you. In today's world, it has adjusted to it, as long as you're providing some of your own food, you're doing your own food preparation and storage, you may have a little bit of livestock, in my case, my chickens and the ducks, and you sell a few things. I just do squeak in. I mean, I'm a little tiny homestead, but we were talking about the differences in the way that was defined nowadays as compared to when he was young. And it has changed. Lots of things have changed. So I do consider what I do have is a small homestead. I'm not trying to say I'm a big farm. I don't have acreages and acreages and acreages of stuff. I know this. I know this. It does make it a little harder because there's not very many people around me immediately that can help out if I have an issue here. If Mr. Holstein is working out of town, I'm here. I don't want to say I'm stuck because that implies that I can't leave if I don't want to. I could. It wouldn't be a good choice. But, I don't have anyone to watch the livestock. I can take dogs and cats with me, or I can put them in the borders. The cats, I can put out food and make sure that their cat box is clean food, clean water, clean cat litter box. And they're good for a few days on their own. But I can't do that. I can't leave the dogs in the house that way. They don't use a litter box. But I could take them and put them in boarding, or I could take them with me. But the chickens and ducks don't travel very well. So, and I can't just turn them loose because of predators. So it does kind of strap you. You do have to be able to make arrangements. You do have to find someone who can help you with that, and it's not very easy in my area. So, but that's neither here nor there for today. We're gonna start to wind down now. I don't have any questions today, and I was glad to see Hunter stop by. If you are out there, say hello. We're going to get to winding down here in just a few minutes. I'm trying to find. Oh darn! Where is my? I don't have my list updated on the things that are going on around here. I try to keep my my list of things activities that are going on in the general area updated, and I don't have it updated on this one. It's still July stuff. It must have been Fridays that I had updated, and I missed it. I am looking forward to the workshop tomorrow, and then not for those of you in the Kanawha County area that might be seeing this at some point. In the month of August for 2023, we're going to have Jenny. I think you pronounce it Jenny. Oops, darn it, got that. Yeah, Jenny from Heart and Hand. She's the outreach ministries coordinator at Heart and Hand, which is it's a thrift shop. It's a resale shop. It's like Goodwill and Salvation Army, but it's sponsored by the Methodist Church. She's going to be here in next week to discuss some of the programs that they have over at Heart and Hand for folks in need, and they do a backpack. They do a backpack thing. They're going to have a walk, a sponsored walk, and I wanted to talk to her about how to do those things. And there's a few other projects that they offer that I'm kind of hoping that we'll be able to get her to come to our church and do some of them from there. And then we're going to have AARP speaking on how to avoid being defrauded, and avoid scams and stuff. So we've got that coming up this month as well. We have, let's see, today is the 8th, so we're looking at Rails and Ale Craft Beer Festival in Huntington. Summerfest in South Charleston is the 16th through the 19th, I believe. I believe that's the correct dates. Hillbilly Days in Hamlin is the 18th and 19th. Parkersburg Homecoming, the 18th and 19th. Appalachian Festival is the 18th through the 20th. So I need to update my list a little more so that you guys will have something to do, know what to do when you come down here. Hey, Stephanie. No, it's okay if you're late. You're not that late. I mean, well, you kind of are, but still. I'm glad you said hello. You got anything interesting going on this week? I keep seeing stuff about the reunion. I'm, like I said the other day, I'm not going, but it looks like they're going to have an interesting group of people at the reunion down at the salt mines, if you want to call them the salt mines. Let's see. Yeah, those are that's the old stuff. We're going camping. Oh, where are you going? Any place good? I mean, camping's always great, but have anybody over on there? No questions over there. No questions over there. I'm checking all the spots to see if I have any questions anywhere. But yeah, we're going to. I'm looking forward to getting these workshops at the church. We're also going to be working with the West Virginia State University Extension Office starting in October, I believe, and it'll be one Wednesday. And these will be in the evening, so there'll be one Wednesday evening a month that they're going to do some workshops. And I have my. I think I have it. Let me see. Where is it? Our church bulletin. I've got to get it printed out and get it. That's just the calendar. I think it's the whole bulletin. Mason Vines and Mason in the mountains near a few wineries. Fun stuff. Oh, near wineries. Yeah, fun stuff. Mr. Holstein goes down there on occasion to. Where does he go? For work. He goes to one of the electric plants. I don't know where it is. I don't know if I can get an answer out of him really quick or not. And it's near several camping spots, he says, and a lake out there somewhere. Let me see if I can find it real quick from him. Where do you go in? I don't know if I'll get an answer out of him before we have to sign off. But I used to love to go camping. We had a Class C. It was an older Class C, and it had a lot of problems in it with it. And I loved it. I drove it. I would drive it to Barbersville. I'd drive it out different places and park it and get it set up. And then he would come and meet me on Friday evenings, and we'd take the dogs and stuff out. It was a lot of fun. Then we traded it for a pull behind. How many years ago? About 5 years ago, maybe 6 now. And I don't like it as well, but it's what they had. And we were scheduled to go to Kentucky for the NASCAR races over 4th of July weekend. And we were taking the grandniece and nephew and went out there, and the floor was soaked. The ceiling, well, it was, one of the light things had started leaking. It probably had been leaking for a long time, but it had leaked pretty bad, and the floor was soaked. And it was a matter of, we can't take this. And we've got to go. We couldn't, it was too late not to. And it just was crazy. So I don't like the pull behind. I don't like it at all. I mean, I like the camper itself, but I can't pull it. And but then now that I've got the chickens and ducks, I can't go anyway. I don't have anybody to watch them. So we've got gourd birdhouses is one that the extension office may offer. Wreath making right around the holidays, and community gardens as the beginning of the year starts and people start planting their gardens and ordering their seeds. So those are a few things that the extension office is going to try to offer at the fellowship hall, but there'll be evenings. They said they have better participation in the evenings, so that'll be interesting to see if that works very well. But I'm actually, Steph, I'm glad you made it, even if it was a little bit late. I hope the volume was okay. I'm having trouble with getting the volume adjusted to translate to the podcast. It was blasting people over there, so I need to tweak that. I hate to go back to splitting the audio off and dropping it back in Audacity, and it just takes so much more time. But I may just have to do that to give it a little better quality. But I'm going to jump off here now. We are coming up right on the hour. I got a lot of stuff to do, but thankfully, it's all brain dead stuff. It's laundry, and it's vacuuming, and it's cleaning, and it's stuff that I don't have to sit and think about anything. And then I have to get the newsletter out for the church. So, but I appreciate everybody stopping by, and I appreciate everybody's comments. I invite you back on Friday. Friday, we're going to do live unscripted, which is kind of like this, only more open to general questions and stuff. If you want to be here 10 o'clock on Friday as well. So we'll sign off now, and we will see you again on Friday. Thanks for coming by. I really, really appreciate it. Welcome everyone to the whole. So there you have it. Post your comments, do all that boosting, liking, sharing, thumbs up, and stuff that helps spread the word and poke the algorithms. Follow me on most of the big social media platforms, and look for my name, Robin Holstein, or Holstein House. Till next time, bye-bye.